President Biden also spoke today with the European Council, the heads of state and government of the European Union. And to discuss that meeting, I spoke a short time ago to Stavros Lambrinidis, the EU's ambassador to Washington. And I started by asking him about the G7 statement that warned Putin against using chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons and what the response would and should be if he did.
Well, it goes without saying that if it did, this would be an escalation unimaginable on the one hand, but certainly crossing a number of lines that people thought uncrossable. So it's a NATO decision, obviously, but I think the G7, the NATO Secretary General, everyone has made it clear that if Putin does something that crazy, the consequences are probably going to be quite dramatic for him.
One of the main topics today in the discussion between President Biden and European leaders is, of course, energy security and Europe's historic reliance on Russian energy, oil and gas. Some European countries get 70 to 80% of their energy from Russia. This week, Germany said it opposed banning all Russian oil imports. Is there a short-term solution that you believe that would allow Europe to reduce its reliance on Russian energy?
Yes, and it's already underway. We are diverting gas supplies and LNG supplies from many countries around the world who are instead bringing them to Europe. We have increased our purchase directly from suppliers as well. January, February, March have seen the highest number of imports of LNG. And in fact, diversifying our supply is going to be a major emphasis of ours. And I do expect that also with the United States in particular, with President Biden now in Brussels, there will be additional announcements on EU-US cooperation in particular.
Let's talk about sanctions evasion. The European statement this evening said that the U.S. and the EU were working jointly to blunt Russia's ability to deploy remaining international reserves, including gold. Have we seen Russia evade European and American sanctions so far?
It has not been able to up to now. It's certainly trying, but when it comes to cryptocurrency, for example, which is actually quite transparent once you are able to identify, which is the tough part, initially the transaction, to see where it came from, what happened. The markets are already aware that we are setting up major task force to stop that. When it comes to gold reserves, same thing. So Russia is going to try to wiggle out, but it won't be able to. And in the end of the day, its economy is crashing as we speak. And I think this is going to be the very sad, the very dark legacy of Mr. Putin on his own country and his own people. The ruble has crashed. 50% of its value has disappeared compared to the euro. The stock markets are still not open. Inflation is skyrocketing in Russia, and people are losing money from their pockets, from their salaries. The oligarchs are running to hide. And I think it's quite interesting there. That very strange speech that Mr. Putin gave a few days ago, talking about this rich Russian people that have to be self-cleansed from Russia, reminding quite a bit Stalin's language. Well, I mean, I'm guessing that maybe some of these oligarchs are actually whispering to him in some ways that what he's doing is really detrimental to their interests, certainly, and probably to Russia's as well. The sanctions are biting already.
But we've seen no evidence yet that there's any kind of internal lack of cohesion between Putin and his lieutenants, right?
Well, I think that speech is an indication of that. We haven't seen the Minister of Defense and other people for a while. Honestly, I don't particularly care to speculate what's happening in Russia. We're certainly very concerned by the fact that he's clamping down, in a very open now way. He always has, against free media, against civil society, against anyone who disagrees with him. I mean, he's trying to feed everyone his propaganda. And certainly that is succeeding to some extent. But what we are hearing is that through social media that still exist, there is a large number of influential people in Russia who understand that this is a bloody war, that it is killing millions, it's sending out of the country millions of Ukrainians, it's killing thousands of a brother nation, and that is most certainly going to be taking its toll on Mr. Putin at some point.
President Biden today talked about a mechanism to know whether China was going to be helping Russia. Obviously, that mechanism will be coordinated with the Europeans. So has China helped Russia avoid sanctions at all? And what would be the consequences, do you think, if China helped Russia avoid sanctions or in fact, threw a lifeline to Putin overall?
I think both President Biden and our presidents on the 1st of April will be communicating the exact same message to China. Do not help Russia circumvent these sanctions, and do not help Russia with military material. We in Europe have been hit ourselves by these sanctions. They have consequences on us too. And we will not be sitting back and looking at anyone else trying to help Russia circumvent them.
Ambassador Stavros Lambrinidis, thank you very much.
Thank you.